Welcome back to Let's Talk Dog podcast. My name is Bea. I'm your administrator and moderator, and these are the ladies of Let's Talk Dog.
What's going on, dog people? It's Narca the Dog Guru from Central Florida.
Hi, it's Alexis, the vintage dog trainer in Missouri.
And our special guest here, we have Zoe, the dreaded trainer. We're gonna let her introduce herself. So Zoe, where are you from? Where are you training at? How long you been doing it? Yeah. Tell us a little bit about you.
So I'm located in Central Georgia, right in the middle, but I will be servicing the Atlanta areas as well, probably on weekends. I've been training for just about a year now. Seriously training for just about a year now. I did my own, trained my own dog in the past. So I am here in the community, of course, to learn and just, better myself as a trainer.
Cool. Where did you get started?
I actually got started in Phoenix. I got a Rottweiler puppy about 2 years after losing my wiener dog, who was my first dog. And I thought to myself, I'm like, well, this dog I cannot have her being as rowdy as my wiener dog. I was like, I got to figure something out. I remember looking at her and she was a puppy, but she was this big and brolic. And I'm like,
Buff.
oh no. I'm like, oh no, I got to do something now. So I started looking stuff up and I started coming across all these different trainers, Norca included. And then I put videos up on Facebook and Instagram, just on my personal pages. And my friends were like, oh, you should do dog training. And I was like, absolutely not. I don't think I like everyone's dog. And they're like, but you're so good at it. I'm like, no. And then I lost my job in 2021. And I was like, okay, well, now's a good time to figure out if I like dog training. So I worked under a master trainer. His name is Yoni Cashron of Balancing Paws in Phoenix. And I fell in love with it. And from there, I was like, all right, yeah, this is my jam. Let's do it.
It's my calling. It's
Definitely my calling.
So you're in Central Georgia? I'm in Central Georgia.
You're lying.
I'm in Columbus.
Oh, you're in Columbus? That's far. I'm in Warner Robins.
It's not far. That's 45 minutes.
Columbus, Georgia is like an hour and a half away because you're almost near Alabama.
Well, that's not that far. That's short. That's like one end of the valley to the other in Phoenix.
So that means you're really close to Florida, right?
I'm only 6 hours away from Tampa. I used to live in Tampa.
I'm also only 6 hours away from Tampa, Norca.
I mean,
I love Tampa. I'm trying to get down there for my birthday next month.
well, you try. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm trying hard. Maybe I'll bring the dog.
Norca is next to Tampa.
Lakeland?
I'm in Tampa right now.
Oh.
I'm like 10 minutes away from Lakeland.
Okay,
Yeah.
got you. I love Tampa.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Dog's mad.
It's a beautiful place.
I'm jealous.
A lot of dogs.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So what made you move from the beautiful dryness, gloriousness of the dry heat to freaking Georgia?
That's exactly what made me move. Was the heat.
Oh no, I
actually
miss
from
it
Georgia.
so
I
much.
was born and raised in Warner Robins. I'm a military kid. And I left. I graduated from the University of Georgia and I hightailed it to Arizona to be with my now fiance. And I went outside last summer and I said, absolutely not. We're not doing this again. We got to figure it out. So we're either going to California or moving back to Georgia. And California is super expensive. So here we are.
I lived in Phoenix for about a decade.
You miss it?
I miss it with every fiber of my desert-loving being.
That's insane. Because it's not, to me, it's the environment is dog friendly, but the weather isn't. And you got all these people with Saint Bernards and Bulldogs and Pugs and Great Pyrenees and
Huskies.
Huskies. I'm like, what are you doing?
I had a boxer in Phoenix. You know what we did? Kiddie pool.
Run. We did have a kiddie pool. My dog loves the water. And she'll sit out in the sun and just sunbathe.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, but you're cooking yourself, so come inside.
Taro came to say hi. This is Taro. Hi, Taro.
For the kitten?
Yeah. No, she's just.
Oh, that's full grown.
Oh, the cuteness. That's a dog.
That is actually not a cat. That is a small, vicious dog.
Oh, beautiful. I love
Is
learning new
that
breeds.
Chihuahua? Is that Chihuahua?
Yeah,
I like to
that's
call that it's a calico chihuahua.
yeah, she's fun. She's better trained than dogs, I think. So
She is
She's
actually a really sweet cat right up until there's food involved.
She's a sass.
I too am a sweet cat until they're students.
Yeah, try to stick your hand in my bowl.
Her and Sky share a soul when it comes to food. They have about the same response.
So as a baby trainer,
That's that word. I hate it. Can we say
that's what we call you guys.
Can we say
As a
young?
baby trainer.
Can we say young? Because look at her, she baby faced over there. She baby faced over there.
Baby trainer, welcome. No, I mean, what are you looking forward to? Like as far as like becoming
yeah, like right now I only train puppies. Well, 4 to 9 month old puppies is what my demographic is. What I look forward to is, of course, training. I have trained older dogs, and I've trained, anxiety cases, and I've trained, bite cases, and I've trained, dogs who kill dogs cases. But that was under a master trainer. And so now I'm looking to work towards just expanding what I believe my capabilities are. I definitely want to work with shelter dogs and, dogs who have anxiety, dogs who deserve a home, but, you can't really place them in a home because they have these issues. So I really want to work towards more extreme cases. They kind of have a special place in my heart because a dog doesn't choose to be an extreme case.
you there? I like that.
Yeah.
I am also only doing puppies under a year right now too.
Yeah.
That's good. You gotta stay where you're comfortable. Don't get ahead of yourself. That's always advice I try to give. Don't put your hands in places that you're not ready to put your hands in places.
Birth to 6 months is my favorite age, and then I like my own puppy right now is a year old. But birth to 6 months is my favorite, and then I don't like them again until they're like 3.
I'm in the terrible twos now.
I have
She's
2
about
in
to
the
be
terrible
2.
twos. I have 2 that are in the terrible twos, and one that is a year old and has just figured out that he is in puberty. Yeah. Is
Marbles
the
are
worst. Well, if he had any, they would be, but he's going through all of the hippocampus released hormones as well. And so he is
Just a little confused about life right now.
Yeah, word.
He has a handful. He's a handful. We'll go with a handful. He's a handful. He's also normal, which is weird for me.
Teenager.
I'll trade you
He's a
handfuls.
normal dog. I don't want your handful. Your handful outweighs all of the rest of my dogs by like 30 pounds. I'll take your boy. You can keep the girl. I don't want the one that's in heat.
Oh, I was gonna send you the boy.
He's needy.
I love him. I'll take him.
He's also
perfect.
right around that year mark of super confused about life, and
Yeah.
he's normal, and I don't know what to do with it.
Raising a teenage dog.
So Alexis and I both have very complicated dogs. And so when presented with our own dogs that aren't like issue dogs, we look at them and we're both like, this is weird. It's not weird. It's normal. We're just not used to it. And Narca thinks it's funny.
I'm also listening to my dog having dreams over here. It's fun.
It's fun.
Dreaming. I have a dog dreaming next to me. It's fun.
Are they making underwater dog bubble sounds?
And twitching.
That's my favorite.
The twitchies.
So what made you decide to get a Rottweiler? That's a lot of dog.
Yeah, wiener dog to Rottweiler. That's
I mean, that's
it's the wiener dog.
You went from dog to this is now the size of your dog's head.
Their personalities should be flipped. My wiener dog was just a handful of dudes. Okay, it was his world and we were living in it. And even he was paralyzed for a while and he had to learn to walk again. But even through all of that, he was just tenacious. I wanted a Doberman because they're smart, they're easily trainable, they're powerful dogs. In my head, in my before training head, I wanted to, before I knew how much protection training was, I wanted to get a dog and put them in protection training. I wanted to make the Doberman my fiance's support dog. And I was like, I kept telling her, I was like, I really want a Doberman puppy when it's time to get a puppy. We already had a Maltese, our little pocket pooch. I was like, I really want a Doberman. And she's like, they're too skinny and not cuddleable. I was like, huh? So she said, absolutely no.
True, you feel the ribs. You feel the ribs. I get.
No,
she was like,
no,
"They're
I
too long."
disagree. I had a Doberman for a while, and he was basically a stuffed animal.
She said, you can't cuddle them because they're too bony. I was like,
Bull.
I agree.
I
agree.
disagree.
Like me, dog.
I don't.
I was like, what do you want? She was like, I want a Rottweiler. And I was like, no, they got stupid beady little eyes and they're big old heads. It's like they look weird.
Cuddle.
Little eyes,
They're
they're
like
big old
they're
heads.
Cuddling a bear.
They're so tiny. Like, why are your eyes so small? They were so small. And I was like, we're not getting a Rottweiler. I was like, we figure something else out. And her birthday came around 2020, and it was the summertime, and it was and I just wanted to go look at puppies because I started getting puppy fever, and I was like, you know what, you need to squash this puppy fever. You have a dog at home, but let's just go look.
You
And I
don't
was
go
like,
look at puppies when you have puppy fever, folks. Okay, you just don't go.
Bad
You
idea.
don't go to the Humane Society. We're like, oh, let's just go look.
horrible idea, right? It's like going to the grocery store hungry.
Yeah, you don't do that.
So I'm calling around these places because I'm not sold on a Rottweiler. I'm not getting a Rottweiler. I'm like, do you guys have Rottweiler puppies? No. Do you guys have Rottweiler puppies? No. Do you guys have Rottweiler puppies? Yes.
It's not meant to be, babe.
I'm on our way. So we go to this place in the hood of Phoenix, and we walk in, and I'm like, where are the Rottweilers? And it's two little girls. And I was like, and he puts them both on the floor. And Queen, who I have now, runs right up to us. Her little sister runs behind something. She was just like not feeling us. And Queen was the smaller of the two. And there was a language barrier as well, but I'm pretty good at getting past language barriers. But I asked, I said, is she purebred? And he's like, yeah. I was like, okay, you have to. I was like, all right, how much? Because my fiance is holding him. She's like, can we have her? I'm like, all right, how much? He's like, $600. I was like, okay. Like, yeah. And I was like, because I know they start at like $3,000. I was like, yeah, let's do it. $600. Let's get the puppy. And we got the puppy. We brought her home. Now he told us that she was 5 weeks, which I didn't know was too young until I got home and I looked it up. And the state of Arizona says you can't bring a puppy home until 6 weeks. So I was like, why would he do that? Come to find out, she's mixed, and I had to take legal action against the guy to get some of my money back because he wouldn't give me my money back because her parents looked like Rottweilers. I was like,
The price seems too good to be true. It is.
yeah. And I know that now. I'm like, you know what? We're not doing pet stores anymore. We're not. If we're looking for a specific dog for a specific reason, we're going to a breeder or we're going to the Humane Society. Because our Maltese was also a pet store dog, but again, it's before either of us knew about pet stores and their pipelines. And our Maltese was healthy. She came with her papers. Queen did not. I said, do you have papers? He's like, no, it makes it more expensive. Okay, cool. DNA test comes back and she is 12.5% Maltese water dog. I was like,
Really?
Yeah. Her hair is super wavy. You know, I was like, oh, your dog's got
I would have
waves.
never thought. Yeah, I would have never in my life would have thought that.
Well, she's got
Yeah,
a
she
long
doesn't
snout.
look like a mix at all, really.
Rod definitely takes
You
over.
haven't seen her big goofy eyes? They're big. They're not tiny. They're big and goofy.
They're not Rottweiler beady eyes.
Well, at least it's not a doodle, okay? At least it's not a doodle. No.
At least it's not a doodle. Oh God, could you imagine a Roddy doodle?
Oh,
I'm sure it's done.
Oh,
you
no,
can edit
that'd
that
be
out.
something.
I edit that out.
That'd be something. And people ask all the time, why didn't you, breed her? I was like, I don't know what kind of. I mean, I know what kind of genetics she has because we got a test. I was like, I don't know what she's hiding in there, what she gets passed on.
She's hiding in there.
You never know.
Why is that people's first thing? Like, wait, aren't you gonna breed your dog? Why don't breed your dogs, guys? Stop breeding your dogs.
Oh
Dogs
yeah,
just-
like so Sky, my husky pit mix, is a beautiful dog. She's gorgeous. And the number of people I get up who are like, have you thought about breeding her? And I'm like, no. One, she's
Not
been
crossed my mind.
spayed since she was like 10 weeks old.
Yeah, attitude problem.
Two, she got a little bit of an attitude problem. And three, she is 50% bully mix. I don't know what those puppies are going to look like.
We really don't know. And
Like,
I'm like,
she does. She has an underbite.
Queen was cleared for hip dysplasia and elbow dysplasia genetically. Yay. But I don't, if you got this from someone who you said their dogs look Rottweiler, so you just thought she was Rottweiler, I'm not breeding that dog.
How do you mix a Portuguese water dog with a Rottweiler? Like, who, where?
How did that
You have a Portuguese Rottweiler.
I'm confused. I'm so confused.
happen?
We.
I don't know. I mean, I even think like I've got Sen, who's my working line purebred, fancy pants, phenomenal genetic German Shepherd. And I get asked, oh, well, why didn't you have puppies out of her? I'm like, I didn't do anything to prove her genetics are worth passing on. I didn't end up doing
He's a sociopath.
I haven't done anything to actually prove she's worth passing genetics to puppies.
And
I don't
that's
think
just-
I don't think people
You won't get
understand.
puppies.
People don't understand that how serious it is. Like genetics matter. Like
And especially
I
these
do.
are different things.
I know backyard breeders that are breeding Connie Corsos that are just nervous and horribly just.
And I don't know about you, but I do not want a nervous Cane Corso.
No, nobody should get a nervous anything, but a nervous Connie Corso, genetically nervous and genetically aggressive.
175-pound
I'm
nervous dog with a mouth this big. Yeah, that sounds great.
My cue to get.
I've trained a Pomeranian Husky mix. I don't know how
Oh,
it happened,
Pomsky?
but it was a thing.
Pomsky.
A
I
Pomsky, but
have so I love Huskies. Huskies and Boxers are my favorite breeds. They're my heart breeds. They're the breeds I will always own, no matter what else I have. But I have rage, like sheer blind flames on the sides of my face, rage at the concept of people intentionally breeding Huskies and Pomeranians.
Pomsky.
what do you do? How do you get that out of the dog? Like this dog has to travel
Well, I could tell you the scientific way.
like a C-section.
You take the semen from a male Pomeranian and you put it into a female Husky.
But that's already too much. Don't you think that if they can't meet in the middle, that it's a
Yeah,
problem?
it shouldn't be done. It's an abomination.
It shouldn't. It is absolutely an abomination, and it is a level of unethical that doodle breeders only aspire to.
The amount of doodles we've trained. It's fun. I trained a bunch of golden doodles, mini golden doodles, some mini Aussie doodles. One of them was overweight. Mini Aussie doodle. And then my favorite, I say this sarcastically, a great Pyrendoodle. And I tell you that it was the most terrifying dog I've ever seen in my life. And I'm not scared of dogs. You can show me
Cute at
a
least?
Corso, a Dogo Argentino, a great Pyrenees and Poodle. She had yellow eyes and they were deep set in her head and they're surrounded by black skin. And she looked like she was trying to possess me with the spirit of Cthulhu. And she came up to, I'm 5'6". She came up to my waist.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Your doodle, it'll be small. No, not when you mix it with a herding breed.
Mess. And she had to be bigger than any Great Pyrenees I've ever seen in my life. She was just huge. And she was dog aggressive. Like, this is great. This is awesome. Thanks, guys. Good stuff.
Might be the
Super fun.
Pyrenees scenario.
Might be big.
It might be.
I mean,
Livestock guardian dog mixed with hunting dogs. That sounds like a fabulous plan.
Throw it in an apartment.
she was ready to go after all of the little small dogs. She was crazy.
She had dog to dog aggression.
She, I don't know if it was genetic. It had to be because it was my master trainer's sister's dog. She hadn't had any poor experiences with dogs. She just didn't like other.
It's gotta be the peer in her, because peers are
They're
territorial, not big fans of other dogs.
All the ones that come to my programs have dog and dog aggression or human aggression. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Pyrenees are not like a family dog.
But she was real hard to read. Like even with body language, she just
She had too much hair to read. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Is there was too much hair for
and,
you to be
and
able to
again,
read
her eyes
anything.
are like so set. But yeah, and they're like, go ahead and suit Pearl up. I'm like, you suit Pearl up. I'm not trying. No. You
Soup
gonna say
Pearl up,
Pearl?
hard pass.
Hard pass. I'd rather Spaghetti. He was some kind of herding dog. We had to have him in like a special ironclad cage because he was just like nuts. I was like, I'll take him. I'm not touching Pearl.
His name was
him.
Spaghetti, folks.
His name was Spaghetti. Yes.
I'll take Silence of the Lambs over there over the Great Pyr Poodle mix.
Guys, it was so bad. Like she looked like a demon from hell. I hope I never see one again.
I've never
Maybe it
given
was an accident. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe it was an accidental litter, not an actual intentionally bred litter.
Paradoodle. Would it be a
A
paradoodle?
great Pyr doodle, a great
Hear
doodle,
me
a
out.
doodleese.
How do we have an accident? I can't see it.
That's a really bad.
Unless they both
Um,
ran away and then like met somewhere.
Heat is how you have an accident.
Yeah, but like, where are you? Where are these mother and father in which this accident can happen?
Where are the
Because, you know,
owners?
people-
That's
yeah,
that's the
people just
question.
let-
Okay. So you lived in Phoenix, Zoe, and you know how bad Phoenix's dog problem is.
It's
Strays.
horrible. It's
Phoenix's
so bad.
dog problem is tons of strays, tons of dog abuse, tons of dog fighting rings. People don't pay attention to their pets. They don't properly
And neuter.
spay and neuter. They don't properly control animals that they aren't spayed or noodled. Noodled. Spay or
Doodle in you
noodled.
there, B.
Spay or neuter. Phoenix has a lot of dog problems.
I didn't know that until I talked to a rescue, and they really like laid it out for me. And I'm like, because I was holding this little pit Dachshund mix. His name was Diminy. Cutest thing you've ever seen in your life.
That's my favorite.
Stubby legs.
That's
They
my
have little
favorite.
stubby
He
legs.
looked like a wiener dog, but he just had satellite ears.
Good bull ears. Yeah.
And he was brindle. He was brindle. Pink. It was just painfully cute. But they said that Chihuahuas were their biggest rescue problem in Phoenix. Just a
Yep,
bunch of
Chihuahuas and
I'm like,
bullies.
yeah. I was like, I've never known Chihuahuas to be,
Yeah, those I don't see them often in shelters like that.
but apparently
Yeah,
they are
Chihuahuas and
there.
bullies are the
The bulls,
biggest
yeah.
problems in
Bullies.
Phoenix. Is Chihuahuas and bullies.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And like you said, the dog problem, the
It's
stray problem,
huge.
and like my neighbors, for example, my old neighbors, you know, brick fences. They're 6 feet in Phoenix,
Yeah.
and so you can't see through them. But I would always hear they never went inside, even during the summer. And you always knew something was wrong because I was always outside with my dog. We're playing fetch, we're training, we're whatever. And
You gotta go out at 5 a.m. in the summer anyway.
oh god, yeah. And then they're always
It's
barking.
already hot.
I'm like, it's 11 p.m. Yo, it's 100 degrees at midnight.
Yeah, I miss it.
That's
Oh,
me
God,
why I
miss it.
moved. But I remember one time I was working at home, and my kitchen window it faces their backyard, and I heard someone close their back door. I heard a man's voice speak, and then I heard the larger dog, which I think is a boxer, go after what sounded like a smaller dog. All I heard is growling, and then like aggression, and then yipping because what the bigger dog had to have hurt the smaller dog. And I was like, okay. So I called animal control. I was like, y'all need to come do something about this. They always
Wellness
bark.
check.
Something needs to happen. I was like, I know this dog just got attacked. And I was like, when I peeked over the fence, because I'm nosy, before in the summer, they don't have water. So they tried to do a wellness check, but they ended up keeping the dogs and nothing happened. I was like,
Phoenix Animal Control is the entire Valley's animal control is just so overwhelmed that there's not a lot that they can do.
I've had to call them 3 times. That time, the time I accidentally locked my dog in the car because I put the keys in the trunk and I put her in the trunk and I closed the trunk, but I thought the car was a smart car, so I thought it was unlocked everywhere. It was not.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and it wasn't too hot, thank God. And then the time my Maltese got killed by some stray dogs, and I called the police, and then they took them to animal control. But animal control's like, oh well, we don't know what happened to the dogs. Like, because I asked them when the police came, I said, please do not have these dogs put down. Like they need to be rehabbed. And I know they were pits. And I know that if a
They got put
pit kills
down.
a dog, right. I'm
They
like,
got put
I'm
down.
begging them. I'm like, please don't. And so they're like, we're taking the animal control and see if they find, you know, if they have an owner. Turns out they weren't chipped. Nobody came forward to claim them. And they're like, we don't know what happened. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, they were put down.
Yeah,
Phoenix
I'm
doesn't.
assuming.
Phoenix's public animal shelters do not have the space to try and
fight.
find rehabs.
Mm, yeah.
No
And I
bite
love
talk.
Phoenix. The other problem with Phoenix is that we have the most fearless coyotes that have ever lived in the world. Not only are they not afraid of people, they will scale your back walls to get into your yard. It doesn't matter if it is a sheer 14-foot brick wall, they'll do it. It's fine. Everything's
Ridiculous.
fine.
And then
They'll
breed
scale
with your
your
dog.
yeah, they will. They
Ooh.
will.
It makes them
They
community.
also stroll through neighborhoods like they live there.
They're mafia.
Like they just do not care, and they are not
They're
afraid of
smaller
you.
than you would assume. They're way smaller than you would assume.
You would. They are a lot smaller than you would think a coyote would be, but it's also a desert.
Yeah.
And it's a desert. It is not a Southern California desert. It is a desert. But also you get some that are rather large because they're not full coyote. So
Oh my
it's
God, I never considered that.
yeah. It's Phoenix is its own adventure of so many
Dogs.
things. But I love it there and I miss it, and I miss the heat and the dry and the 120-degree summers. I won't visit Norca between like May 1st and like November.
My heat.
It is
Well,
too
yeah.
humid. It is too humid for me.
Well,
I won't do it.
You know.
I don't know. Humidity doesn't affect me, I guess. I don't know.
Okay,
bothered.
look, born in
I
Puerto
am
Rico.
bothered by snow. Snow
Oh my
bothers
God,
me.
yes.
I'm bothered
Snow
by
bothers me
anything
too.
under 60 degrees. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm super bothered by it.
But yeah,
humidity
I
is-
prefer the dry.
I can't.
I miss
Can't do
it.
it. It's a nosebleed.
That's enough for me, dog. No.
My partner walking through my
Hi,
office
Peter.
going, I'd moved. Norca says hi. Going, I'd move to Phoenix in a heartbeat. Shh, get your pie out of the oven.
Go get the car
Yeah,
ready.
mind your
Get the
pie.
bus loaded.
Look, the bus is still in the shop.
I'm sorry.
I have a purple bus that I use for traveling. It's a little purple schoolie.
Badass.
I freaking love it, but it has been in the shop for like a week and a half now.
Purple bus. I
Yeah.
want all parts.
I love
He's
it.
picking me up, and then we're gonna travel around.
We
Yeah, go on
are.
tour. In a
Heck
party
yeah,
bus? Yeah.
I'm. It's not a party bus. It's not that big. It's like a 6-window shorty. And I'm going to DC, North Carolina, Colorado. In September, I'm going to San Diego. I haven't worked out the logistics of that yet because it's going to be warm. And I have boxers. I will smush face boxers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
But-
boxers. I adore them.
What is your favorite breed?
God, my favorite breed. My favorite breed.
Your favorite breed to potentially own and your favorite breed to train. Because those are sometimes different breeds.
My favorite breed to train would have to be poodles. They're so stinking smart. Like it's stupid how smart. You really don't need me. You don't need me, sir. All you
Poodles
need is the
are people.
instruction
Poodles are
manual. You can
people.
clearly read. Like you can read.
You can clearly read.
You don't need me.
Poodles do know
Poodles?
English, by the way. And any other language you throw at them.
You
Sir,
don't need
here
me.
is the manual. Go forth and conquer
Yeah.
the world.
Favorite to own though, gosh, I don't even know. I would say I would get another Rottweiler in a heartbeat, but I adore cane corsos, and I told my fiance, I was like, if we get one, I want a bunch of land, and they're going to patrol the land. They're going to do their thing. We're going to be one big happy family with a couple of ducks and
A couple ducks, a couple of corsos, we're good, you know.
they can stay over there on the pond. She wants a goat.
And the ducks and the corsos will get along, and they will not eat
Goats
each
are
other.
awesome. Goats are awesome.
She wants a duck. A goat. She doesn't name him Billy. She doesn't really want the ducks. She doesn't like birds, but I was like, you know.
I heard
But,
ducks are very territorial and very aggressive.
oh, they're mean. That's what I mean.
I know
They're
roosters are for a
smelly.
fact. I know roosters are.
You've been attacked by a rooster?
Charlie,
Consistently on an almost daily basis.
Charlie, at least once a year. That's twice a year this time.
But
No,
yeah,
this
I think
past year
that
I got attacked by a rooster like 6 times.
where were you?
Stop wearing red shoes.
Yeah, it's red. It's red. They don't like red.
They're like bulls. Got
Yeah.
Yeah. What is your least favorite breed to train?
Least favorite? Have I come across it yet? Let's see. Least favorite breed to train?
No.
I think it would have to be Golden Doodle because they're either super goofy and like have no fun. Don't get me wrong, I'm goofy and I can lack focus as well. But they're super goofy and lack focus, or they just don't want anything to do with you or anybody else in the world. And yeah, and it's just sometimes it's just like you can't even get them engaged in training because they just rather stand back and judge.
Cats. They're like cats.
It's back in judge.
Yes. They just rather sit back and judge. We trained a Golden Doodle. He was standard Golden and standard Poodle. So he was massive. He jumped the fence. I was like, we were still enclosed in a larger area, but I was like, there's just no way.
He said, "I'm out. Bye."
I was like, there's no way. We're done. You're done. You're done. So yeah, Golden Doodle.
How do you feel about huskies?
Oh, I love Huskies. Even though they shed a lot,
Finally!
I do love them. They're super smart. You know,
I like
people always
training
say,
them.
Huskies are dumb. But
I love training.
they're super smart.
Huskies come in 2 speeds, derp or genius. And there's no in between, but sometimes the derps are also geniuses. But sometimes the derps are just derps.
Yeah, I adore them.
I
Saint
do too.
Bernards too. Oh man.
Yeah, Saint Bernards are great.
Yeah.
Those are one of my favorites.
I want a Saint Bernard just because I want a dog that carries a pony keg underneath its neck.
We had one at the daycare I worked at, and he had his collar had a little mini barrel.
Oh, that's
I'm like,
so
oh, that's the cutest damn thing ever.
I want to go to the Ren
like,
Fair.
oh my god.
I want to go to the Ren Fair with my part pony who's carrying a pony keg full of cider in it or something, or whiskey. Spend all day.
Fake unicorn horn.
Put a big old unicorn horn on him. It's my pony.
Just a pony.
So,
will you next be? You gonna go?
no, go for it, Norca. Eat it.
So your training style. Tell us a little bit about your training style. Like, what's your approach when you're meeting a new puppy?
Yeah, so when I'm meeting a new puppy, usually I send the owner a pre-screen, like a questionnaire. I want to know what you think your problems are, what you want to train on, things of that nature. And then I like to see your puppy interact with you. How does your puppy view you? Does he walk on a leash? Can you get him to walk on a leash? Can you get him to pay attention to you for 5 seconds? What is your relationship with your dog? And then my biggest mantra that I try to push to people and try to get them to understand before I even start training is, I'm not training your dog. I'm training you on how to train your dog. I'm not going to drive the boat and then give you the boat and teach you how to drive. Which, works for some board and trains, but me personally, when I'm in person with you, I will show you how to do it, and then you are going to execute, this training.
And you're gonna show me how to do it, right?
You're going to show me that you understand how to do it. Because if I do it for you, or anything. So I do like to be very hands off with the dog itself. Of course, I would consider myself more of a balanced trainer. I did start in the force free camp without knowing it, because when I started training Queen, I came across Zach George, and I'm over here watching all of his videos, and I'm like, okay, all right, okay, and it started working. It was working very well. and nothing went wrong. But then I came across Stay at Once dog training, came across Vinny, and I was like, dude, everything you're saying is making so much sense. And so I started implementing what he's doing, and
That man's a genius.
yeah, my relationship with my dog is just going like this, and I'm like, oh my god, this is beautiful. And then again, I started working on a master trainer, and it all just came together. So balance training is definitely my camp. Hands-off training in person is also my jam. So I'd like to give these owners the confidence that they need, because it's a lot about confidence in training their dog. They think they can't, or they think their dog can't, but it's like, yes, you can, and he can. You guys both can. Voila! Look at this. Watch me do this.
Yeah, I think once you break that communication barrier, it's, oh yeah, that's how that works. And it's
I
just
tell
like,
them all the
oh,
time. Once you guys start speaking that language together.
Yeah, I've seen trainers that just kind of go in, train the dog, and then they give homework, and then that's it. Like, oh, here, take the
Yeah.
leash. Show me what I just showed you. Show me that you can do that,
Exactly.
because it takes practice. Like what we practice and what we do every day, obviously we get better and better at it. We learn new techniques. We develop, and master our art. And then we expect these humans to just be like, just here, take the leash. Now you try it, and not explain. Like there's so much mechanics behind just holding a leash the right way, and taking tension away, and
Yeah, it's all in the. I mean,
putting
even
your
the
body
shoulders,
language in
elbows.
there. And there's so
Yeah.
much you got to teach the human, and
Mhm.
it's a
About the
challenge
dog.
for me, because I mean, training a dog is easy. It's the human,
easy
getting the
part.
human to break bad habits, getting the human to like just relax body, and
The
The bad
targeted
habits
Norca.
part really spoke to me.
huh?
It's
I'm
an
just saying-
targeted Norca.
What are you talking about?
I have a reactive boxer, and I automatically tense up when I have him out for training. And so Norca frequently is like, relax,
It's
relax.
PTSD,
Relax.
though. I mean, it is PTSD for a lot of humans, because they put the leash on the dog, they walk outside, dog freaks out, they have no idea what they're supposed to do, and then they go back in the house and completely avoid the situation again, instead of trying to help that dog get through that situation, and then themselves trying to get through the situation. There's a lot of anxiety in the dog and the human. And you really got to work with the human as far as like confidence building goes. I know with B, I'm like, B, okay, walk with your B, pass me the leash. Okay. And B's face is like, pass you the leash? Are you kidding? Like,
Yeah, like she,
give me your dog some leash. Like, relax,
time-
pass me the leash, keep walking, we're good.
the first time that I met Norca, I was bringing her my husky, who is my service dog candidate, for her food aggression, because she'd gotten to a point with her food aggression that I no longer had any idea where to even start. And so I was like, okay, well, I have to bring another dog with me. I'm going to bring 11. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to bring him. He's a lot. I don't want him to be too much. And Narc is like, I'm a dog trainer, right? And I was like, oh, fine.
Like,
So she
please
told me I
bring
had
me
to.
11. Please,
So
actually,
she told me
prefer
I
you
had
bring me
to.
11.
And this was after I'd had an experience with another trainer that didn't go great. And 11 was far worse than he ever was. And so like Sky's still in the car, and like and Norca's probably like 4 feet from me, and I'm opening the back the because I stuck him in the hatchback of my SUV. So like I'm opening the hatchback, and I stick my arm under, and I grab the leash, and the moment that it opens up and he locks eyes on Norca, he comes out with like the intention to bite her face. Like she actually took a step back, and he was just like, "I'm gonna eat you."
And
yeah.
It's like, be standing there just kind of holding pressure. I'm like, start walking, just walk with him, just walk with him. Like, it's like,
No, first thing she said was unclip him from his prong collar and clip it on his flat collar. And I went, I'm sorry, what?
yeah, because it was like, I'm like, okay, walk with your dog. I like to see, like, I want you to show me how you walk your dog. I want to see the relationship. So I said, B, walk with your dog, and it's, hey, heel. And all I see is just crank and yank. And I'm like,
That's what I had been taught.
he's getting punished, but he doesn't know like what to do instead. Like, you can't, obviously there's miscommunication there. And it was advice that she received during virtual consultations of virtual training. And it was the wrong tool for that dog. So within seconds, I knew like, okay, the communication's off. Like, there's no relationship between dog and human. Huh?
We had a relationship and then the training started and then our relationship tanked
Right.
and it was no longer there anymore. But now it's good. We're doing better.
Oh yeah, you guys are great. Great team. Yeah,
We're
whole
doing way
house
better.
full of awesome dogs now. But it was lack of confidence because B was nervous. Like, I'm afraid my dog's gonna bite somebody. I don't want to get too close, and obviously you don't want to put the dog through the stress and then put yourself through the stress. So it was a lot of just kind of chaotic, you know. And all we need to do was take a breather and like read the dog and kind of like motivate the dog because the dog was just scared.
Pass me
guy
the
was
leash.
fucking scared.
What? Just pass me the leash. What?
I'm gonna keep walking straight. Put the leash behind you. I'm gonna take the leash from you, and then you're just gonna let me walk with your dog.
It was the first
Around
time
me,
that he had
tears. I'm
ever,
like, why are you crying?
yeah, it was the first time he'd ever had somebody hold his leash that was not me or my vet.
Mhm.
And he was fine. He was anxious, he was nervous, he was scared, but he wasn't like
He was
trying to
moving
bite
around.
Norca. He wasn't trying to run away. He was just like, I don't understand what's going on. Why? What? Huh?
Why is this
Keep
person
walking.
so confident?
Those are the
I don't have an
situations
option but to walk.
And what? Fast forward almost a year now, right?
Been a
We
year.
started in April,
Mhm.
and this guy goes up to people now and says hi and doesn't freak out.
He likes Alexis. He desperately wants Alexis to love him.
And it's easier for B to read his body language and predict and prevent, and it's great.
We've even added he's dog reactive and human reactive, and his reactivity is forward aggressing. But we even added another boxer to I have 5 dogs to my pack. And I have a problem.
That you can
And,
manage that dog,
He
but-
likes boxers.
I love boxers. And it took 3 months before they got to be together without a gate or anything between them, of just coexisting and being worked around each other, but not interacting. And then a month of being on the road, and they are freaking best friends and partners in boxer stupidity. They are collectively have half a brain cell.
It works though.
Working.
It does work. That coexistence. I was shooting for neutrality. Like I was literally shooting for neutrality. And what I got is 2 peas in a pod who are collectively dumber than a rock.
Yeah, remember each other.
They're very sweet.
I swear.
They are.
Yeah,
they
and I
are.
mean, and you realize that Levin's not this tough guy that he puts himself out to be. He's a scared little puppy who just needs
Yep.
confidence building, not corrections,
But-
and not
Yeah. And I chucked him. So I chucked him in my bus because I was afraid to take him. And then I was talking to Norca and I was talking to my mentor, Shelly, who's the jungle nut. And both of them were like, just chuck him in a crate and take him. Just chuck him in a crate and take him. And so I did. And it went perfectly. By the time that I was in the last 2 weeks of my trip, I went to Missouri, to where Alexis and her roommate, Lindsay, live. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to let them loose in the backyard because they've been in a car for like 2 days. And what are you doing?
I'm blessing Alexis. She sneezed.
Oh, okay. I'm like, what are you doing over there, you weirdo?
I saw it coming. Her eyes like real like.
Squinted. And then I let him loose in the backyard. And inside of like 2 minutes, he had walked up to Lindsay and shoved his face in her hand because she had turkey and he wanted it. Yeah. He was just like, oh no, you can touch my butt if I can have your snack. And I'm like, fair. I feel that way a lot too.
You touch my butt if I can have a snack. Just saying.
So what are some of the biggest challenges you've encountered coming into the training industry?
Biggest challenges I have encountered. I would say, when I first started, it was confidence. Because when I started training, it was 2 months after my Maltese had been attacked. And I dedicated myself to, because again, I'm not scared of dogs except for Pearl. Not scared of dogs or any breed of dog. And I dedicated myself not to have any tension around Pitts, because that's the dog that killed my dog. But it wasn't personal. You know, like obviously it wasn't personal because their dog.
You didn't like single your dog out because it was your dog.
Right. You know, it's just she was a tiny Maltese and they're terriers, and terriers do what terriers do. They go after small things. And it was the situation was a perfect storm. It was just, there was nothing, looking back, there's really nothing that could have been done. So I'm like, okay, what you're not going to do is be scared or timid or angry at the pit bull breed. So that was hard to get over. It was hard to push myself through, I should say. And then confidence, because dogs smell it. They smell it, they smell it, they smell it, and they're like, you're new here. Freaking rookie. And I'm like, oh my God. So confidence was tough. And then now just being, you know, new to the industry and trying to get my name out there. You know, you get all these great comments like, oh my God, I wish you could train my dog. And then you put your schedule out and it's crickets. You're like, wait, where'd you go? You just said you want to train your dog. And lastly, probably family, friends asking for one-liners that are going to solve their problem. And it's like, this is going to take 3 hours for me to even give you the bare minimum of what you have going on.
And then it's going to take a whole lifestyle change and a whole life.
And you're not ready.
I have the opposite problem, and that is I'm the youngest of my family. I'm the baby. And so literally every single person in my family who has dogs who are even slightly problematic, my brother, is like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
He just does that. He just does that.
He's fine. He's not going to hurt your puppy. No, I assure you that freaking 14-year-old dog reactive, human reactive,
Krabby Patty,
tiny terror of spite and hate is going to try and hurt my puppy. And I was right. I stomped my big old foot right down in front of his little rat dog's face because he started charging my boxer puppy, who was only 7 months old at the time. Mm-hmm. Stomped my foot down right in front of him, scared the bejesus out of himself. He peed himself.
You're not going to bite
That's
me. That's
it. That's a great
And my brother was like,
point.
that was mean. And I was like, I'm sorry, this puppy is a potential service dog. Let me explain to you how this isn't going to go.
That's tough too. And you got to come out of baby mode once you're the dog trainer, because it's like, now you have a dog that you have to advocate for. You know,
and one bad experience.
Norca taught me how to advocate for my dogs. So I learned how to advocate for my dogs from Norca. And now Norca goes, you're really mean.
Look, what do you want? You pick a shot.
I went from zero to
no, you cannot pet my dog.
Aggression.
And I go, that's a cute puppy. Don't look at my dog.
Don't even think.
No. When it comes to my two dogs, my SDIT and my service dog candidate, those two, no, you don't even get to look at them. You don't even get to make eye contact.
And it's okay, folks. And it's okay.
But if I have Cowboy, my 80-pound mutt of stupid and sweet, you are welcome to love on him and pet him and snuggle him. Just keep in mind, he will aggressively love you back.
That's Russell.
He is 80 pounds and a beast.
I had a veteran tell me, I was walking Queenie around Lowe's and we were leaving and she had done great. Everybody had done great. She had her in training vest and they were awesome. Everybody got an A that day, except for this man. We're walking out and he is behind me and he's like, they're making kissing noises. And I absolutely despise when I am doing something with my dog and you're making kissing noises. What is the point of you trying to distract my dog? So I didn't realize that he was distracting her. And all I feel is tension and her going back this way. So I turn around and he's there. And now she starts jumping on him. Now I'm correcting her like, no, we don't jump on people. He's like, oh no, it's okay. I'm a Vietnam vet. I have a service dog of my own. You have a service dog? and you're
It's
saying
okay.
it's okay,
Mhm.
give me my dog. Really, we're going home. I've got to get to that. I was like, that blew my
I'm
mind that day. No way. There's no way.
Like,
Would
it's
that be
okay.
okay
Your
for the
dog
second
can be
dog?
rude and jump on me. I have 5 other dogs at home, and they're rude all the time.
I'm like, no way. No. I was like, absolutely not, sir.
We finally got Cowboy to the point where he has to sit before he's allowed to be pet because he loves children, but he weighs more than most children. And so he has to sit to be pet because otherwise he is going to love that child right to the ground.
Queen's favorite pastime was, because she's not around a lot of toddlers now. We used to go to dog parks until we knew better. And there's a lot of hear me? My headphones just dropped. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
a little bit.
There's a lot of toddlers at the park, and Queen's favorite thing to do is try out for the Arizona Cardinals defensive squad every time. Run right through a toddler because we taught her how to go between legs. And that's
Oh
just her
no.
thing. And the parents are like, ah, ha, ha. I'm like, can you like not
All you
encourage
see is
her?
your kids' feet in the air.
Oh gosh, kids got and the kids having a great time. The parents are laughing.
Mental image for this.
It's art, it's comedy. Because she was about, I don't know, maybe 40 pounds at the time. The kid she's strong, Queen's strong. Plowing through these kids. And the parent, I'm like, your kid's gonna get a
Try to
concussion.
center.
She's taking kids out left and right. And it was hilarious. And I was like, this cannot happen. Because she's gonna be big and I can't have this. I was like, ma'am, please
Don't encourage this.
don't encourage this. It's so bad.
So
Or
Jonas's
trees.
dog, Birdie, is first of all, the first dog I've ever met that isn't mine that I legitimately considered actually stealing. I love her. She's a husky mix with something, and she's got these little floppy. She's a great dog. She's super cute.
Yeah.
She auto centers. And I was not prepared.
The headbutt in the crotch.
Thank you.
Her to just like in mid-step, I'm walking through the door to go to the bathroom, like mid-step, auto centers. I'm just all, ugh,
They will take your ankles.
not ready.
I tell people all the time, do not lock your knees around this dog. She'll take you out. She'll take you out.
Don't
She'll just
lock
walk
your
right
knees
by you.
around dogs.
She'll walk right by you and you're gone. She's only like 70 pounds, but
How old is she?
she's coming up on 2 years in May.
Only 70 pounds. That's got to be the Portuguese water dog in her.
That, and I think we got her spayed too early. Now her vet, I asked her vet, I said, I've been reading studies about early spaying and I don't know, like, is it going to make a difference if we spay her before her first heat or after? Oh, no, it really doesn't matter. It'll be the same. I was like, okay. So we spayed her before her first heat and now she's small. And I'm like,
She's a mini Portuguese water Rottweiler.
she's a pocket rot at this point. I'm like, yo.
Mini
And everyone's
Portuguese
like, oh my
water
God,
Rottweiler.
she's massive. I'm
The
like,
water doodle. No, water.
A Waterweiler. She's
a water riler.
Water right.
A Waterweiler.
Portuguese water riler. Oh my God.
I want to throw doodle in there for some reason.
No,
My
don't throw
fiance always
doodle in
says
her.
she's a golden
Don't you
doodle.
put that label on Queenie.
She's like, you're a doodle. Because she's so goofy and just happy all the time. God bless. I love her.
So what is your experience? What has your experience been like as a person of color in the training industry who is also, do you identify as she, her, or you, they, them?
She, her. So I
Okay.
do identify she, her, but just under the queer umbrella. So far, the queer thing has not come into play.
There's a lot of queer trainers.
So confused.
All right, so we're doing
very
good on
confused.
that.
So many queer trainers.
And
Um,
I noticed that, and I'm like, my jam. I can dig it. As a person of color, it's different because, the video that I put on my Instagram was just about how, as people of color, we experience these things, these ways of punishment as children that we now take to our animals, whether that's timeouts and spankings and just all of these things that shouldn't have happened as kids that are kind of very cultural at this point to being a person of color. now we transfer this to our animals, and we shouldn't. So I made that, and at the end of it, I ended up, someone called me a fascist. I was like, okay, cool.
You're a wait, but
Okay.
how?
I'm a racist fascist. I don't know. And he's like, because black's this and black's that. I was like, I didn't even say anything about black people. I said, you know, I've got Latinos and Asian people and just all these people of color going, yes, like I hear you, like this is a great message. And then this white guy he was really going in on me.
Always the
At
white
the end
guy.
of it, I
That's
was
why we
just-
can't have anything nice.
I was like,
We
sir.
ruin it for ourselves.
I was like, he's like, as a white person, I was whooped too. I was like, okay, go to therapy. Like, I understand. We're all going through that.
We're just trying to
But
tell you, stop the generational trauma. What is it? The generational
Yeah.
Stop the
So-
generational trauma.
Dogs.
Find a
That's been
therapist.
interesting. You need therapy. Like, I'm not your punching bag. So that's been a thing. But really what I've experienced is a lot of my family and friends of color just saying things like, you know, oh, you know, the dog just needs a good spanking, or oh, give me the dog and I'll have him trained for protection in a week. I'm like, you have no idea what it takes to even make the dog sit. You can't even make the dog
Teach,
sit.
to
And you think
actually
you're about to
teach
train
the
it to
dog.
be protective. Oh, I can train Queen to be protective. First of all, Queen is terrified of leaves, so write that down. Can't do shopping bags. Can't.
She
Guinea
ain't
pigs is a new
protected
thing.
shit.
She hates guinea pigs. Terrified of them. Palm trees makes her run away. I don't know. So there's, you know, none of that. And
But she's
they're just
big
like,
and she looks scary. That's all that matters.
that's it. And I'm like, y'all don't even understand the science behind
All right.
these dogs.
Teaching.
So what I get is a lot of people of color with pit bulls and all these scary dogs, and they're loose cannons, the dogs. And I'm like, again, it goes back to how we were raised, and now you're yelling at the dog, and the dog doesn't respect you. The dog is not listening to you because you're doing all these things that never gained your parents' respect. But it's hard to even communicate with the people of color community because they don't believe me, you know, when it comes
Normalized is normalized abuses.
Yeah, your
normal to
dog is
get your
just
ass whipped for
good.
doing something wrong. Like
yeah, they're like, oh, your dog is just good. You just have a good dog. I'm sorry, you think if I didn't train this dog that she would be good?
Right.
My dog is super opportunistic. She is, I mean, dogs are opportunistic, but she is very opportunistic. You think if I didn't train her, get out of here. But so that's
I have a
really
pack full of opportunistic dogs.
Oh yeah. Every day we need to train on something of just self-control. And that's the biggest thing I face is just really other people of color not believing me when it comes to dog behavior. And it's crazy that it would come from your own community, but it does. They're just like, you know, we don't need to do
Do you
that.
find it harder with white clients versus people of color?
No, it's way easier. White clients are more, they see Queenie, they see how well trained she is, and they're like, I want my dog to do that. Okay, cool. Now, what I do see more of with white clients is a hesitant to say no, like no jumping, no this, no that, no but stop, don't do that. But that's really it. That's the most hesitance I've seen so far.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yep.
I never
Or
would have
treats
expected
too.
that, honestly.
Treats. People of color are very hesitant with treats. They didn't do anything to deserve it. Do you go to work every day? Do you work at work every day? Do you still get paid
every hour of your day.
Right. Okay. So get the dog a treat, please. Back.
You be milking the clock too. Shut up.
Dude, I'm telling you.
And then there's
I do
people
it.
like me who, if you walk into my dog room, because yes, my dogs have their own room. There's a built-in floor-to-ceiling shelf that is just fucking filled with like different kinds of kibble, treats,
Yeah.
training tools.
What are you feeling today, bud? Salmon?
Toys. I'm like, all right. And they're all, and it's not like I'm feeding them, you know, milk bones. No, it's like, or a small bag of origin kibble, a small bag of of Akana, a small bag of Stella and Chewy, like $30
This
4-pound
podcast
bag
is
of
not being
food.
sponsored by any of the name.
This podcast isn't sponsored by anybody, but it should be. Like, but yeah, like it's all like pretty, because I'm really obnoxious about my dog's diets. I'm obnoxious.
Oh, same. You should see people's faces. I feed my dog raw and I throw in a touch of kibble because when we travel, I understand people don't want to touch the gizzards and stuff. So we do kibble, crack an egg over it. And that's what she eats for about 3 days. But I do raw and put in the meat, sprinkle some basil, some oregano, blueberries, carrots.
Dog eating better than me. Like.
Oh, my dogs eat better than me every day.
Every day. And people are like, why don't you just feed them what is it?
Pedigree.
Blue canine? Yes. I'm like, okay, it's expensive.
Oh, blue
not high
buffalo?
quality. Blue buffalo. I'm like,
It is not. It has had so many recalls.
like ew.
So many.
I can't. We had a boarding train. He was a Saint Bernard. He was from the same lineage as Beethoven, the movie dog.
The movie dog?
Super
Oh, neat.
Yeah. Super sensitive dog. Very affluent family. They paid a lot of money to have him boarded. And they bought him his Royal Canin. Now, I've never seen kibble so big in my life. These kibble nuggets were massive. But I was just like, you're spending, at this point, hundreds of thousands of dollars on food, and it's no better than Pedigree, Kibbles and Big.
McDonald's.
You might as well.
So I had 11. 11's my boxer 11, the reactive one, is a white boxer. So let's not talk about how many problems come with that. Yeah. So he's got kidney and bladder problems. And he's got water diabetes. And so he was on Royal Canin hydrolyzed protein, but he was not doing good on it. He was not, like, he was still having trouble with processing his food, and he was still having trouble with holding his urine and all the stuff that comes along with it.
Never had a dog.
And I was just like,
with normal poop that eats that food.
That's it. I'm switching to raw. And I just cold switched him to raw. And inside of like 2 weeks, he was leaps and bounds better.
My mom always told me, she was like, I don't want a big dog because I don't want big poop. And my mom did not want me to have a Rottweiler. She was like, take that dog back before it eats you at her house and home. It's going to eat you in your sleep. And now
Eat you in your sleep. No.
She was just convinced that this dog was going to go off the rails. And now she's always like, that's grandma's grand dog. Like, can you stop buttering that? But she was talking to her friend and she's like, yeah, Zoe feeds Queen raw and her poops are so little.
It is what
when you don't have a lot to throw away, you don't have a lot to throw away.
So much crap put in your dog's food.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
literally.
I'm surprised my wiener dog lived so long. Because we used to feed, when I look back, we fed him horrible. Give him a bit.
Wiener dogs live off of spite and whatever you choose to feed them.
And scraps on the floor. Anything.
Yeah, wiener dogs live off of
telling you.
spite and scraps.
He did. And that was my dude. That was my
And how old was yours before it passed?
16 and a half.
Yeah, they live so long.
You got like another solid 10 years with Snooki over there. Like, she's old, but she's got a long ways to go.
Messed up her back this summer, and like within a few weeks, she was right back at weaning around and
Weaning around.
Yeah, just a little old lady with a lot of spunk and life left.
I love it.
I came and dog sat for Norca, and she's got a Chihuahua. Snoop is the sweetest boy with the stinkiest breath. But he is super sweet. Like, he'd jump up on the couch and then just roll over and look at me like, please pet my belly.
Balls in the air.
That's all I want. I just want you to pet my belly.
But he does it very leery about it. He's like, can I trust you to rub my balls?
I didn't really have that problem. I didn't have that problem. I think it's because Russell adhered himself to me like Velcro, that Russell's a bully.
Russell. Just through the screen, I'm like, dude,
he's annoying.
I buy him collars. I buy Russell presents.
The two dogs I fallen in love with on social media is Russell, and I don't know if you guys follow Sailor Jerry, her dog Enzo.
Enzo's a cutie.
Enzo's a whole personality.
That's it. That is exactly
That dog is an entire personality wrapped up in the prettiest boy. But yeah, so Russell decided from the moment I walked through the door that he loved me and that was it, because I am the person who brings the treats. And I freely give them for simple things like sits and listening.
Apparently, I starve my dog, so he gets no food
If you ask Russell's chunky butt, he's never been fed.
ever.
It's never.
Oh, mind you, he serves himself breakfast every morning. He just runs in the yard and grabs a couple of eggs and
Dude, I
eats
need
a little bird poop, and then he comes in and says, "Hey, don't you have to feed me too?" And
that was
You just had a
My dog
6-egg
eats
raw
raw. My dog
omelet.
eats
You're
raw,
fine.
I feed my dogs raw too.
that's
guys.
really raw. I mean, that's like fresh out of
He
the
waits
oven
for his
raw.
own
Man.
eggs.
He's like, oh, this one's still warm.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it. We started noticing when we're like, damn, the fucking chickens have not laid eggs in a while. And then we start seeing like shells here and there. I'm like, do we have little chicks somewhere? We haven't seen them. Like, what's going on? And then there, mind you, the coop has like 2 stories to it. So he has to climb. He has to walk in and then climb up and then go to the back of the coop. So like we're in the back and all you see is his tail like in the second floor of the coop just kind of wagging. Russell, you
Having a
eating the fucking
snack.
eggs? He was eating the fucking eggs. So yeah, every
They're
morning
the
we have to make
omelets.
sure it doesn't go past the little bird feeder we have in the back because he just gets and serves himself breakfast. His coat is very shiny. I gotta get to him.
He does have a real pretty coat.
He does. It's the eggs. It's gotta be.
I was
think it's
so I've been doing lives on my TikTok where I'm like making my dogs breakfast, and somebody commented, "Your dogs eat real good," and I'm like, "Yes."
The answer is yes.
That is yes. What are you giving them? Well, this is their because I don't want to fuck up their like dietary needs. So I buy either Albrights. Well, I have some Darwins right now, which I don't normally buy because it's expensive. But I have Albrights, which is what I feed 11. And then I feed Primal, which is what I feed my 2 girls. And then my other 2 eat kibble. Well, one eats kibble. The other one eats kibble and some raw. And like I'm chopping up some, I think it was beef kidney. Like, what is that? I'm like, gross. I assure you it's gross is what it is.
Dude, I'm dying. Being from the country, I've used to like gross stuff, but sometimes I just look at Queen and I'm like, there's no way you're gonna eat this. You're gonna eat it?
Yeah, we eat it.
She doesn't like
Chopped up beef kidney and the smell was terrible. Like I can't. It's gross. And so like I chop it up and I offered it to each of my girls, and both my girls were like,
oh yeah,
hard pass. And
like, how are you
both of my boys one who eats full raw and one who eats partial raw didn't even notice I stuck it in their bowls.
Oh. Like, how are you a carnivore? Queen has eaten raw her entire life except for 1 week when we first brought her home, and she doesn't eat liver.
Does he eat liver treats, like the dried liver treats?
I've never tried it because I'm like, I don't know if it's like, are you like a texture person, Queenie, or do you just not like the flavor? So I do have to try. I have a feeling in my heart that she would smash the liver treats.
It might just be the texture of it raw because it's pretty gross texture.
Yeah, she just picks it up and she just makes the most disgusted face. And I'm like, okay, I'm just joking. I don't like beef liver either. No judgment.
My 3 boys can't figure out how to eat turkey necks.
Oh, like just chew on them?
They can't figure it out. It just confuses them. The girls are both like, we're here. We're going to eat this in seconds. But my boys are like, do I just lick it?
Do they like throw it around and play with it?
Yeah, like they're trying and they just can't figure it out. And I'm just like, oh, God, it's a
Queen
good
doesn't
thing these
realize
3
things
are
are
pretty.
edible. They don't realize things are edible until like Queen doesn't realize like tomatoes. She can keep a tomato intact for hours until she accidentally bites it and goes, oh, yeah, I can eat it. Yeah, it's the thing to eat. I'm like, yeah. But we just gave her a new chew toy yesterday that's only made for chewing, and somehow she managed to eat that. I'm like, I don't understand. You don't make give me the bone. We're done.
So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years. Hopefully I have taken on dog training full time and it supports me.
Same.
I have not I am not determined if I want to do board and trains. Right now I don't desire to do board and trains. I don't want all those dogs in my house. I don't want to be responsible for all those dogs 24/7. I'm good. I'm good. But what I would love is a facility that is broken up into like the needs of dogs, herding dogs, sporting dogs, dogs who like water, and just the real cutesy dogs. Just figure something out. We'll let them run, we'll let them swim, whatever they like to do, they can do it. Because I really, really, really want to drive home to people what their dogs were made for. There's not a lot of working dogs out there now, like because
There
they're
is in
more
Georgia.
ornamental. Oh, there is in Georgia.
There is in
But-
Georgia.
They're trained. My friends who have hunting dogs, trained, boom, done. But I would love for people to have like, God, so many Aussies in Phoenix, and they're just, I don't know why they keep chasing my kids and biting their ankles. I don't know.
Ever researched your own breed there, buddy?
Like, what did you do before you got this dog? Did you Google? Because I just feel like if you Google,
You know Google's free.
People don't Google, they just say, I want a puppy. And they show up and pick up
they
a
just
puppy.
want an Aussie, right? Or they just
So
want a
many with
terrier. Oh, my dog keeps killing squirrels. He's a rat terrier. I don't know what
Genetic thing.
yeah, it's a thing. I
Rat
don't know.
terriers, they can fly. Did you know that?
You know. So I
Rat
really want that. I
terrier.
really
It's
want
in
that.
there.
Yeah, I want to drive home for people what their dogs are capable of, because people don't know, or they know and they try to suppress it. Like you got
Sounds
a
kind of
border
like you
collie.
want an education center. Like you want to do an
Yeah.
education center.
Absolutely.
I'm
Like you
down.
want a
That's
border
pretty
collie.
awesome.
Now what? What are we gonna do with a border collie? Because we're not about to sit on the couch all day. You're not gonna be happy with that. Because half your dining room
Oh.
table will be gone tomorrow. What are we gonna do? What are we doing? Let's figure it out today.
You bought yourself
So I
a
would love
German, a
that.
German short-haired pointer, and you're not a hunter.
What are you doing? I've had people
What
reach
now?
out to me like, oh, I want this puppy or that puppy. What should I do? Well, what's your lifestyle? What do you do? Like, I want to insert super athletic dog here. I want a Vizsla or a Rhodesian Ridgeback. What do you do every day? What do you do? What's your schedule? Go to work, come home,
Body.
cook dinner, go to sleep.
I'm a homebody.
Pug.
Yeah, I don't do anything.
Get a pug.
That's really your only option at this.
Like, get a pug. Get a
A Lhasa-
cat.
Lhasa Apso, a pug, a
Shih Tzu
Maltese.
even, yeah.
Papillons. Papillons are
Please
literally
don't.
just lap
Those
warmers.
are evil. Those are evil.
They are not. They are not. Their owners make them evil.
I'm like, I just don't understand. Well, I want a dog who's gonna hike with me. Okay, how often do you hike? Every weekend? Like just once, like once a week? Maybe you should get a
Get a
boyfriend.
lab.
That's the concept.
Get a boy.
Get a lab.
Get a
You
boyfriend.
need
Labs.
Man.
I've seen a lot of overweight labs in Phoenix.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so nuts to me.
I
Those are
see
so
overweight,
hot and people
overweight
don't-
labs and overweight Rottweilers a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, why is it so big? Oh, it's
Overweight
too big.
boxers. I don't
I
even
have
know
never
how you
seen
get
an
an
overweight
overweight boxer. How do
I've
you
never
get
seen
an overweight boxer?
How do you know if your dog's overweight? Go to their tail, and if there's a little fat on the tail, your dog's overweight.
If that
There's-
has made it to your dog's tail, we need to talk.
Yeah,
Like,
that's,
by
I
that
saw
point-
something horrible the other day. The dog was just having trouble breathing, period, because he was so fat. But the tail on this dog was like,
Just fatty
dude, it was
bosses.
fat, like legit, like fat, and then it like had a lump on it, and then it was the rest of
Mhm.
the tail. I was like, the dog had like cellulite, like little rolls of, like you can
Like,
see
I'm
them.
not the most active person. Like, I'm really not. I'm not a super active person, but I have 2 boxers and I still don't know how you get boxers fat.
Your dogs are so active. Like,
I'm active
I've
with
never
that.
seen
Oh
a
my
fat
God.
boxer.
I have. I've seen a lot of fat boxers.
Have to Google.
It makes it
Oh, yeah.
actually
I've never.
makes me see red. Like if
pugs.
I see a fat boxer, I literally have to walk the other direction because I'm the person who will be like, let me explain to you how you're killing your heart sensitive breed dog.
Oh,
I've seen
wow.
overweight pugs. I've seen overweight wiener dogs.
Overweight wiener dogs are pretty common.
Mm-hmm.
Ours was overweight for a while because she got
Shepherds.
fixed, and my mom started feeding him Old Roy because she wanted him to enjoy wet food. Cool. She didn't read the label, and it was old Roy for outdoor dogs in the winter. He blew up like a balloon. And my mom was like, all right, we're going. They ran 5 miles a week. And my mom was like, absolutely not. We're getting it. Let's go.
Yeah, with
She's like, "No,
smaller
no, we're
breeds
good."
like that too, you gotta be careful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he ended up with a slip disc that he recovered from pretty quickly because of his weight. But
I think that he recovered from it quickly because wiener dogs are made of spite.
even
Right.
after he was paralyzed the second time, like the second herniated disc, he learned to, he was mobile again. He couldn't do as much. He could not jump, but he could get around. And I would tell my mom, like, I take him to the field to go work out. Like, I'm working out. He's just sitting there. And I was like, Mom, he ran. She's like, he did not run. I was like, yes, he did. He's fueled by spite. He just ran. He took off. She's like,
Fueled
"Oh,
by spite.
that dog cannot run." Like, swear to God, he did.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
like a little old
Yeah.
man, but
They're right.
he did it.
Snooki, when I was dog sitting her, kept jumping on the couch and I kept having heart attacks.
I know.
Well, she was
Yeah, I think-
recovering from her back issue.
Yeah,
And
she
Norka's
was
like, she can't be on the couch. But I don't know if you know how fast weenie dogs are when they want to do something.
When they see you
But,
coming and they want to complete their mission, it is
Yeah.
comical.
It's the little legs. It's all.
Oh
It's
my
the
God.
aerodynamics.
And it's the
all
way
in
they
the
cut
legs.
corners with the legs.
And the
know,
ears
like
help a little bit too. Definitely think the ears have a lot to do with it. They're my
So
favorite.
yeah, it sounds like what you want is an education center, which I think sounds awesome.
Yeah, definitely.
That is
I want to give dogs
freaking-
a chance to fulfill their purpose, even if it's just this much purpose. Because, again, a lot of drive has been worked out of a lot of dogs, but you still got it in there. So let's,
Yeah, I think it's important too
Yeah.
that people actually know what their dogs are capable of doing. Because people,
Yeah.
a lot of people don't know what their dogs are capable of doing.
Yeah.
Because they're just there existing. Like,
and it's,
There,
you
your
give your
dog.
dog purpose. My aunt came over yesterday and she's like, your dog is so strong and her muscles and her body. I'm like, we're outside every day training for strength. We're training for physique because this dog is going to look good. Like one time my fiance's like, she looks like she's getting fat. I was like, absolutely not. We're going
let's
outside.
go
to train
outside.
ourselves."
Sit down.
Let's
Sit down.
relax.
Sit down.
I was like, wait, up, down, not that way, but this way. You gotta get in shape. You gotta get your summer body, girl. Let's go.
My bully mix's purpose is she is in fact my recycle bin. I just give her boxes and she makes it into small pieces for me, and then I pick up the small pieces and put them in the recycle bin. And she has had the best time ever, and she loves every moment of it. And she's not getting fat doing it.
Exactly. My
And
wiener
it's
dog
enrichment.
unwrapping Christmas gifts was his jam. That was his jam. He was good at it. He was the Christmas unwrapper. All you have to do is start a little piece and he just get to go. You're great. Good job. Never change.
So if you were a dog, what kind of dog would you be? What breed?
I would be a poolie because of my hair. They have dreads. I have dreads. I'd be a poolie.
Fair.
A black poolie.
I ask weird questions. What would your fiance be?
Oh gosh, my fiance would be. That's a good question. Okay, my
A
fiance
Pomsky.
would be. She would be. Honestly, she would probably be like the most stoic dog you can think of, with energy.
Golden doodle. No.
But also pretty. Like she likes girly things. So
Oh, just a golden
Boxer?
retriever. Okay.
A boxer. No,
She would
golden
be-
retrievers are not stoic. That is some bull right there.
she would be a Maltese, a show line Maltese.
Oh, with the really long hair and the little.
Oh
okay.
yeah, just
Alright.
the long hair and the
The
bows.
shampoo
and the
commercial
Pet
hair.
me, I'm pretty. That's my fiance. She's a show dog. Pet me, I'm pretty. She tells me all the time. She's like, "Why aren't you petting me?" I'm like, "All right."
You just need to put up just you feel better.
She's like, "I just need a fingertip." I'm like, "Okay, here's a fingertip."
I gotta love you, my little Maltese. You.
My little Maltese. That's her and her Maltese. They were. I'm like, I get it. I see why you got a Maltese. And that was the one dog that she kept through all the years, because these other dogs were other people's dogs that came and went out of her life. This dog, best friends. I was like, I see it now. I get it.
That's Sky for me. She's my best friend.
Yeah.
I don't like dogs.
Well, you
Scam
love
profile.
Sky.
Just kidding. I love dogs.
Sky is a derpy ass dog, though. Sky
Those
wants
are my-
Alexis to love
almost
her
my favorite.
too. So, do you have any questions for us?
Yeah. Does anyone ever ask you guys to train their cat?
No, we got Alexis here for that.
Hey, Alexis,
You train
you're
cats,
up.
bro?
Hey, guys.
You do?
Two, three guys. Yeah, people
no,
do
it's
ask to train
perfect.
husbands, train their kids, train their cats, train.
Husbands are a no for me. I can't
just
get
there
through
for
to
the dog.
them.
I mean,
Don't
I would
understand.
train husbands, but it would be very expensive.
Husbands are
Expensive. And I would require that they buy an e-collar so that I could e-collar train them properly.
Husbands are a pain in the ass.
Husbands have to have an e-collar. It's required, unfortunately, with that breed of human.
The ego, yeah. No.
Gotta be
People ask
assertive.
me to train their cats all the time, and I'm like, I don't think I train cats. I don't know.
I don't do cats. I have scars to prevent. I don't do cats.
Oh,
I almost got killed.
Narco was
last
recently
week.
traumatized by cats.
I almost got killed by a cat.
oh my god.
Like a week and a
Not
half.
almost
2 weeks
killed.
around.
Not almost killed.
Generally, if I get like a random DM from somebody, it's always cat training. Like I very rarely get dog training questions, but people don't see, they don't really see people train cats. And so I have some videos up training the cat. And so I've had like random people that are just like, I need your help.
Oh my god. I
I'm
know
like-
who to reference people to now.
She's like, there's not much I can do from across the US, but I can try.
Oh my god.
You
Yeah,
can
I
train a cat.
haven't mastered that.
I am teaching my calico to sit. And by teaching, I mean luring her into a sit position and then trying to get my fingers out of the way quick enough before she eats her treat.
They're very violent creatures.
They are.
My
She
cat
is
was a cat
a
for
lot.
I did sit with leash pressure. Mine's too food aggressive to lure a sit. So we did leash pressure for a sit.
Sassy.
My fiance
She
wants
has
to
a,
test
real,
it
a
out.
really well-trained cat.
The little
It's actually
She's a crate
impressive
trained
to watch.
She's crate trained too. It's great.
She's crate trained.
there's not a lot of cats that are crate trained either.
But don't think
Which is
about crate
nuts.
training your cats.
Yeah,
This is
so
nice.
she's crate trained, she's leash trained. She has better recall than the dogs most of the time. She has to sit on place and wait for her food because otherwise she attacks you. But so she has to go sit and wait for the okay to eat.
Structure, baby.
I love
Meanwhile, I'm over here like my cat's box trained. I can get her in a box to take her to the vet, but it needs to be a cardboard box or I'm gonna lose a limb trying to get her back out.
it.
No, B got
My
to watch
cat likes
her
bags.
do, like this ladder obstacle course that got set up in our living room. And the cat just on a leash went across the ladder
Yep.
and turned around, went back across. I have
This
nothing
is a
better to
human.
do with my life than train my cat.
That's dope though. I don't know if I
It
can
is.
pull
It
off.
is actually really impressive to watch, especially in person,
Like
because it's a freaking cat, and who expects a cat to respond to leash pressure?
exactly.
Who expects a cat to respond to anything they don't want to respond to?
Like, well, no, Dot is snap trained. Like I've snap trained her to numbers of snaps for things like a sit and an off. But that's as far as we've gotten. And then my original service dog died, and she didn't come near me for 2 years. So, she was raised by him. I got her when she was 6 weeks, and he raised her. Because I thought I got myself a kitten, but that was an incorrect assumption. What I got was my boxer got a kitten.
Yeah.
And I got to watch him raise a kitten and pay the bills on the kitten.
For his kids.
And so when he passed away, I didn't see her for the first 7 months that he was gone. I didn't see her, which is in feet because she is a 17-pound cat.
What?
Oh, she's a beast. She's huge.
That's a big girl.
And then when I did see her, if I went near enough to her to be close enough for her to hit me, she would,
Oh, no.
with claws for
Bite.
like 4 more months. And then the rest of the time, she just tolerated my existence, but wouldn't come near me. I couldn't touch her till like a year ago. It's been 3 years since he died.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
He's going through some.
Like
Like, I
cats
guess
hold
this guy's not coming back, so we can be friends now.
cats hold grudges.
I'm gonna be a cat.
Yeah,
I
I don't
just don't
think I
forget.
have a cat. Mine's not a cat. I don't know what
Yours
this
is not. It's a small
It's a
vicious
feline.
dog.
It's a feline dog.
Circa?
It's a calico chihuahua. She's only 4 pounds. She's a calico chihuahua.
Oh. I have another question for you guys. What is the craziest training request you've ever gotten?
For me,
I just opened my company in December. I haven't gotten any weird ones. I have one client.
Oh.
that's a good one. That's a good one. I mean, I get the usual like pet people trying to like make their pet dogs serve as animals. But
Mhm.
that one's pretty common. Like,
I've had someone ask me to teach someone in Washington State how to get their dog to retrieve beers from the fridge.
hey, we want
I
to
was
see
like-
Vic for that from Divine Canine.
I was like, yeah, I was like,
Go check out Vic from Divine Canine if you want to your dog to fetch you a beer.
yeah, I was like, I'm not your girl. I was like, are they obedience trained? No.
Do they know anything?
I
Do
mean,
you
this
want-
one, the shepherd, she puts groceries away and moves clothes from the washer to the dryer.
My dog is useless. Got it. I swear. We're still working on her picking things up.
Look, I'm still working on mine, just not being assholes.
Oh, good luck. Sometimes it's genetic. I mean, hey, you have to love them where they are. My mom always
I tend to get the requests from people that shouldn't even consider their pets to be service animals, and they're, well, I mean, if we do this training with my dog, no, your dog is not a
Never,
candidate for
ever.
a service animal. It's just not.
and
Just-
that's what I had to
you are
realize with Queen.
you don't need a service animal. So
Yeah, I had to realize with Queen. I'm like, you're no good. I love you, but you're just no good for
It's
service.
not
for
for you.
protection. You're good. You're done. We're done.
You're a very cute
I
pet
get
dog,
the-
Queenie.
I get the ones that I get the ones that have like nervous dogs or like real fearful dogs asking about like protection work. Like,
Oh, no, I
How
think my
about
favorite
building
one
your
from
dog's
you, Norca,
confidence
was
up?
do you know a medium? First of all, a medium is for ghosts, not for talking to pets. Do you know a medium who can tell my dog it's okay?
yeah, I mean, I had a lady like in like for real life person like asking me if I knew a pet medium, and I was like, "What do you need a medium for?" Well, we were in a house fire, and my dog's just really scared of everything, and I was like, "Okay, you just need to build confidence. You can do that through training." She's like, "Well, I just feel like she just needs to talk to someone," and I was like, you need some confidence building because
Like,
you're
first
living
of
right
all,
here next to
ma'am,
your dog. And-
Bam. A medium is to talk to ghosts, and your dog is alive.
Yeah.
I
I talked to this guinea pig from 22 years ago, and it told me that. No, I can't. I mean, no.
Like what you're
disrespect,
asking
but
for is a pet
I've never met
psychic, but what
anyone in
you're
real
also
life.
asking for is
Is a trainer.
dumb.
I've never met
But-
anyone in real life who can like talk to animals like that. I mean, I have my connections with dogs, and I feel like I can communicate with dogs in ways other people can't. But and any good dog trainer out there has that, But
Mhm.
as far as like, let me sit
But
here.
now
and
you're also a medium.
let me
Absorb the
breathe with
energy.
your dog and be one. Breathe with me, dog. Like, I can't. Like, it's not my
Your
thing.
hands on him and breathe with the dog. Just be with the dog.
No,
telling
I'm
you.
just gonna be with this dog.
No.
That's interesting. No,
I
a
think-
pet therapist.
Yeah, there's mediums out here, and if there's some on TikTok, I'll tag you.
So Alexis,
Yeah, I think the weird one I get all the time is people also find out I teach yoga. And so their first thing is like, you do dog yoga, right?
That'd be great. I think you can because dogs
well-
mimic, and I've seen so many people trying to do yoga, and their dog's just like, hey, I could do this too. I think
No, like
I
the
think
only crossover between dogs and yoga is proofing a place command while I do yoga.
so you don't get humped.
Yeah, like I don't need to be bothered and bugged while I'm doing yoga. So like, and most dogs are like, why are you upside down and standing on your
My
head and
level.
doing weird stuff?
the
It's not
closest-
visible.
The closest I've come to that was me and my sister got shit-faced and did yoga in my living room with when I only had Sky and Bandit wouldn't stop licking my sister's face, and so I collapsed over in laughter while trashed doing yoga.
Yeah,
Like
like
a
so dogs are
classy
super
bitch.
and dogs are interested in it. They think it's weird and they want to be up in your business. So I use it to proof my place command. Like if they can handle me doing yoga and just sitting on place, they can handle just about anything else while they're on place.
Yeah.
That's a darn good idea. Yeah, I foresee many more odd requests because
You're weird, yeah.
Guaranteed.
Crazy.
Guaranteed.
Crazy.
Yeah, I
It
want
would
my
definitely
fearful,
weird.
reactive, lungy dog to be protective and confident and protect my house. But at the same time, I want it to be okay for my family members to come over and bring their kids and their dogs. So yeah, it's just stop
People are
setting
like,
expectations.
Queen
My
will develop
mom-
the confidence that it takes to be a protection dog, and I'm like, never. She'll never.
My mom, when I told her I was traveling by myself with just my dogs, was like, "Oh my God, are you going to be
Yeah.
okay? You're traveling alone." I was like, "Mom, I'll have my dogs. I'll be fine." She goes, "Oh, they'll protect you." And I was like, "Oh, no, they won't."
You're right. That's not what I meant.
No. 11 will scream from his crate. Sky will bravely hide underneath my legs and bark furiously from behind me. And
Hey, it
Gambit
looks
will
like it's
attempt
protecting
to
you,
love
though.
them to
That's all that
death.
matters. As long as it looks like it's protecting you, that's all that matters.
Yeah. So
Just
when
your
I'm
dog
traveling, if I'm at like a rest stop, I'll just let Sky out of her crate and crack the windows because she's got that big husky bark
Yeah.
and will bark if anyone gets close.
Yeah. I try
And
to
I'm like,
use-
that's right.
Now that I know Queen has absolutely no hope in protection, I use my scary dog privilege, and we've taught her how to bark at things that have caught her attention on command. And so I'm like, you know what? As long as it looks scary, that's all I need. All I need is time to get away. And it's good. Don't come over here.
The person's scared of dogs and the dog barks, it's scary.
We're good. People cross the street before Queen even looks their direction sometimes. I'm like, oh, you guys have no idea, but okay.
He really just wants to love you
Lick
and
your
place
death.
between your legs.
Yeah, and take you. She wants to wrestle. She's actually a UFC fighter.
All right. So we're going to go ahead and put your contact information. So just your Instagram, right?
Instagram and TikTok are the same at the Dreaded Trainer.
Okay.
Mhm.
So we'll put that below so people know where to contact you at and put your area of responsibility that you do. So that they know how to get you. But I think that we should probably wrap up because it's 8:45 and I have to be at work at midnight.
Oh wow.
I'd take my dogs out.
So anybody got any last words?
Love you.
Oh, it was just awesome
it was
speaking with you guys tonight.
This was fun.
Zoe, I will shoot you my phone number since we are really close to each other. We
Please
can
do.
meet up.
Yeah, maybe you
sometime.
guys can like come through Tampa, maybe, and like
maybe
pick
go to
up
Tampa.
buses on the way and just head over.
Absolutely. Take my baby to the beach. Meet up on the beach.
My dogs haven't been to the
Love is on the
beach
beach.
yet.
No, there's like so many dog beaches around here.
Yeah,
There's,
but
like,
I'd have to take Sky to a dog beach. I don't know how that'd go.
You mean you're gonna bring Sky so we can go to the dog beach?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you 11 so you can manage him while I have Sky.
Okay. That's fair enough. Fair enough.
He's a night.
Fair enough.
All right, you can find Zoe at the Dreaded Trainer on TikTok and Instagram. You can find us at Let's Talk Dog Podcast on all the things. And we will put her contact information down below. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to Let's Talk Dog Podcast. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Later, dog folks.
Bye.
Wow.